Hey mathematicians, in this video we are going to talk about how to find a least common multiple. But first we need to talk about what multiples are in the first place. So let's look at an example just using number 4. So since 4 times 1 is equal to 4, 4 times 2 is equal to 8, 4 times 3 is equal to 12. You can probably see where I'm going with this. So I just kind of made a list going through the first 10 here. So because all of these numbers here are what we get from multiplying 4 by another number, these are all multiples of 4 because you get them by multiplying 4 by something else. So then in another list here, I just realized when I was making my multiples of 4, I accidentally skipped over one. But in this second list, because all of these numbers are what I get by multiplying 5 by something else, these are all multiples of 5. So the way you get a multiple is by multiplying a number, by another number. So now let's look at this part that it says about in common. So what we need to do when we find common multiples is what they share that's the same. And they have a lot more than this, but I'm just going to make note of the 2 that are here on the list. So 2 that they have in common, since that one has a 20 and that one has a 20, that is a common multiple, right? Since this is a 40 and that's a 40, those are multiples that 4 and 5 have in common. But then when we refer to least, we are talking about what is the smallest. So if I look at those common multiples on the list, what are the 2 that are the smallest? Well, that's going to be 20 in the case here. So the least common multiple for 4 and 5 would be 20 in this particular case. So now let's look at another example. So this is example number 1 off of your warm-up. So the first thing we need to do is get a list of multiples. And so I'm going to do that by so the multiples of 12, we've got 12, 24, because 12 times 2 would be 24. 12 times 3 would be 36. 12 times 4 would be 48. 12 times 5 would be 60. 12 times 6 would be 72. So I'm going to stop there and see if that's enough to get my common factors for 15. So obviously I've got 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 would be 30. 15 times 3 would be 45. 15 times 4 would be 60. So voila, look right there. That is a multiple that they have in common, and it's the smallest one. So your answer for problem number 1, what do 12 and 15 have in common? Their least common multiple would be 60. Problem number 2, I still need to do a list of multiples. So 12 times 2 would be 24, times 3 would be 36. So I'm basically just recreating that same list. Hopefully that'll be enough. Let's see now. So now I'm going to do multiples of 18. So 18 times 1 is 18. Times 2 is 36. Times 3 is 54. Times 5. Sorry, I meant to say 18 times 4 is 72. And looky there, we've got our common multiple, our least common multiple. So 72 is going to be your answer for number 2. And for problem number 3, so we've already kind of, we kind of know that list of multiples of 12. By this point, we've seen them a few times now. So now let's find our list of multiples times 14. So times 2 is going to be 28. 14 times 3 is 42. 14 times 4 is 56. 14 times 5 is 70. So far, we haven't found a common multiple, have we? So I'm going to have to add to my list a little bit here. So let's do 12 times 7, which gives us 84. 12 times 8, that gives us 96. 12 times 9, which is 108. And 12 times 10, which is 120. Hopefully that'll be enough. So now I'm going to go back to my list of 14s here. So 14 times 6 is 84. Oh, I didn't need to go too far because that did get us one that we have in common on the list. So the least common multiple for 12 and 14 is 84.